and the truth about men and women in Islam. Allah has made it clear in his book that good women are for good men and good men are for good women. This is a divine match, an order from Allah, meant to protect and uplift our families. But when feminism corrupts this order, it destroys the very foundation of marriage and family. Feminism teaches women to rebel against their husbands, to see them as oppressors, to fight for independence at the cost of harmony. And for men, it weakens them, making them afraid to lead their families, to stand firm in their role as protectors and providers. But Islam tells us that a woman should be a protector of her husband's heart, and a man should be a protector of his wife's dignity. When both of them are aligned with the truth of Islam, they build each other up. But feminism distorts that, and the result is clear: more and more divorces. The reason many divorces happen today is because of the corruption caused by feminist ideas. Feminism turns good people into bitter individuals, focused on self over family, pride over humility, and rebellion over obedience. It is these very attitudes that poison relationships and destroy families. Imagine an apple, fresh and ripe. Now imagine that same apple is placed in a basket of good apples. Over time, that one bad apple will cause the rest of the apples to rot. No matter how good the other apples are, the bad one will spread its corruption. And once an apple rots, it can never be restored to its former state. It is corrupted forever. Feminism is that rotten apple. A woman or man who falls for feminism becomes like that apple, corrupted, unable to restore themselves to the goodness they once had. Once the corruption enters the heart, there is no turning back. Surely, if you were to place a bad apple in a basket with good apples, they will all rot and become corrupt, no matter the amounts. And surely, once an apple has rotten, there is no change nor reversion for it, so verily it will be corrupt forever. From the Halatack book. The dangers of mixing the good with the bad. Just as a bad apple will rot the good apples around it, a corrupted person will drag others down too. A man or woman who adopts feminist ideas will bring harm not only to themselves, but also to their spouse, their children, and their entire family. The reality is simple. Feminism has no place in an Islamic home. If you place this rotten ideology within the walls of your marriage, it will destroy everything that is good. And once corruption enters, it is very difficult, if not impossible, to return to purity. We must protect ourselves from this disease. We must strive to be the good apples, those who preserve the integrity of the family, who uphold the values of Islam, and who build homes that are filled with love, respect, and devotion to Allah's glory. The greatest threats to Islam do not always come from outside. Sometimes they come disguised as movements for justice, claiming to help Muslims while slowly poisoning the hearts and minds of our people. Today we expose one of the most dangerous of these deceptions: feminism. It is time to unmask the reality behind this ideology and how it is being used to weaken our ummah, destroy families, and manipulate our brothers and sisters into abandoning the true teachings of Islam. Feminism, a false ally to Muslim women. Feminism presents itself as a movement for women's rights. But let's be honest. When has it ever truly defended Muslim women? Where are the feminists? Nowhere. But when it comes to promoting rebellion against husbands, normalizing free mixing, and labeling hijab as oppressive, they suddenly find their voices. Islam gave women their rights 1400 years ago. They do not need feminism, they need Islam. And Islam does not change for society. Society must change for Islam. The hidden agenda: breaking the Muslim family. Why do feminists attack Islamic gender roles? Because they know that the strength of the ummah starts with the family. A righteous woman strengthens a righteous man. A righteous man leads a righteous home. But feminism teaches women to distrust men, to see marriage as a burden, to compete rather than complement. And the result? Families collapse, men become weak, and the next generation is lost. And what has this ideology led to? Skyrocketing divorce rates. Women filing for divorce over trivial issues because they have been taught that independence is more important than family. Men afraid to lead their own households because they have been told that authority is oppression. Feminism has corrupted the hearts of women and softened the spines of men. And when the home collapses, the ummah follows. A broken home is a broken society. A broken society is an easy target. The future deceptions what comes next. This war against Islam is not stopping here. First, they attacked hijab, then they attacked gender roles. Next, they will attack the Islamic rulings on inheritance, marriage, and even the role of men and women in the masjid. And once they have made haram seem acceptable, they will work to make halal seem outdated. And let's not forget, the feminist movement opens the door to even worse corruption. They align with the LGBTQ agenda, they normalize free mixing, they push for gender fluidity. Everything they touch leads to the destruction of morality. The truth from the Halabiko book. The Halabiko book has already spoken of this corruption, and its words ring true today. Verily, feminism does not affect the neurons in the brain, but the neurons in their hearts which have been corrupted. And another truth must be spoken, as the book of Halabiko warns. The disease of a man weakens his body, but the disease of feminists weakens generations and corrupts all those to learn forth. And what is this disease? It is feminism, an ideology that teaches rebellion over obedience, arrogance over humility, and selfishness over sacrifice. A man may fall and rise again. But if feminism spreads in a woman's heart, it takes the future of her children, her family, and her society with it. Our response: holding the line. We, as Muslims, must recognize this for what it is, a direct attack on our Deen. Islam does not need feminism. Islam already granted women more respect, protection, and honor than any ideology ever could. We do not take our values from the West, we take them from Allah and His Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Do not let these feminists deceive you into thinking they are fighting for Muslim women. They are fighting to change Islam to fit their agenda, and we will not allow it. The call to action: stand firm, protect our Deen. To my brothers, stay strong in your role as leaders and protectors. Do not let them guilt trip you into weakness. To my sisters, know that your value comes from Allah, not from imitating Western women. And to the entire Ummah, be aware of these deceptions. The war against Islam is not always fought with weapons. Sometimes it is fought with ideas. Stay firm, stay united, and never compromise on the truth. Anyways, I hope you benefited from our video. This is Halatack Ahmed from HalatackBant team. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.